Okay, so this is a chapter 11 review for the mini test. As we go through, I'll tell you what will be different, what will be the same. So number 1, a study comparing a group of chosen patients who receive a new medicine with a similar group of patients who do not is A, and we're going to vote. Who thinks it is an observational study? A. Do we think it's a survey? How about null hypothesis? I didn't even tell you what that was, so clearly that's not it. What is it? Experiment. Okay, hopefully that's like chill enough, right? We're good. All right, experiment. What gave it away that was an experiment? One person? Perfect, Ruby? Testing, right? To see what works. We are literally doing an experiment to see, one thing's changing to see what is changing, what works. All right, the way number 2 is going to be written is going to be the following. I'm going to say, I want you to find the mean, the standard deviation, and then the 5-number summary. Remember, the 5-number summary is min, Q1, median, Q3, and max. How do I remember these 5? Is it written somewhere in your calculator that you will use the whole mini test? Yes, the answer is yes. That's what I'm looking for, is a yes. Okay. This is the way it's going to be written. All I did was change numbers, and this is what the second problem is. Awesome. Okay. Good talk. So if you have your calculator, you need to get it out. All right, we're going to practice calculator skills. It's going to be a significant portion of the, most of the computations aren't really computations. It's you using your calculator.
You have an extra call.
Yes, I do. So make sure your guys' calculator is charged, ready to go for Friday. So if you guys one thing you can do, you can put your calculator in this charger, and then tomorrow at bonus, come and grab it, because by that should be enough charge for you to have it on Friday. Cool. All right, so I'm going to insert all these numbers.
The line over the X, that means
Mean, exactly. So I'm at the home page. I need to enter in all of my numbers. So you can go new, data and spreadsheet, list and spreadsheet, or you can go over here to the little green thing. It says list and spreadsheet. Cool, it pops up. I'm just going to enter in all of my numbers. 16. So right now, if you haven't already, insert all these numbers. All right, so you should have 14 numbers entered. I'm going to wait until everybody is at this step before I go on. If you know what you're doing, you can keep going, but I want to make sure we practice calculator skills together, okay? Got to make sure everyone knows what they're doing. So after you enter these numbers, you ready? We need to find all of these calculations. Luckily, the calculator will do it for us. So you go over to menu, statistics. Exactly, 411, menu, statistics, stat calculations, one variable stats, aka 411. And if you just push enter, you need to make sure, all right, depending where your cursor was, all of our data was entered in column A, the first column. So you have to make sure the part that's highlighted right now has to be A, because that's where I put all my stuff. Okay, and then push enter. Ooh, look at all my stuff. Here we go. This X with the bar is the mean. So I'm going to write down my mean.
Is that like little the Greek letter again?
Sigma, capital sigma?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Sum. So the
Do you want to put that in there? As
menu, and then push 411. Ask someone near you, because it'll help you. All right, so I'm gonna write down the mean. The mean is this X with the bar. Make it a little bigger. Okay, so you can kind of see it on the screencast. So the mean is 16 or 16 point what?
16.8.
16.8. How do you know what to round to? It's always one more place than our data. It's always one more place than our data. Okay, ready? Standard deviation is the SX, which is right here. So it's 4.4. 4.4. Standard deviation. Okay. Just to tell you what the others are, this giant sigma x, all it's doing is adding up all of my data. So Isabella, this answers your question. All this means is add all our data points. So if you added all these numbers, this is what the total would be. That's it.
I was talking about a different letter though, like the one that's in the number 2. Like for C, for example, it has like X.
That's a lowercase sigma, so that is this right there. What's highlighted? Well, I scroll up because if I give you a list that's very long, if I give you a list that's really long, you might be far enough down that you don't see anything. If I had a list that was like 20 long.
Like you can't look at 18, you have to look at 1, 2.
18? What do you mean 18? What do you mean 18?
No, like you should scroll all the way up to like the 1 4 is only in like the top one. So like if you're looking for means.
This is one we're looking for, is mean. Yeah, the mean is always the top one. Yeah. This is always our standard deviation is the SX right here, 4.4. Sigma X, okay, it's the difference between a sample and a population. You guys are a sample of D Toledo students. Not a accurate random sample, but you are a small part of the overall population. Remember, your calculator tries to be smart. It tries to outsmart you. So the SX is if you would do it by hand. Remember when we calculate standard deviation by hand? Boo, right? Not going to have you do that again. This is the number I'm looking for, SX. I'm going to give you a sample. Now, the population, if I had all D Toledo students, the whole population, your calculator is trying to figure out what the population standard deviation would be based on the sample, whatever. We are using SX. We are using SX. One more time, the standard deviation you write is SX. Okay. Then I have to write the 5-number summary. So if I scroll down, look, it literally gives me the 5-number summary right here. Here's my min, Q1, median, Q3, max. There you go. Those are the 5.
It doesn't matter that there's like the X next to the
because it's lowercase sigma.
So the standard.
Hold on. I'm going to answer one question at a time. So right here, this sigma x, I just explained the difference between SX and sigma x. SX is the one you're going to write, it's for samples. This is standard deviation of a population.
Oh, so
if you take stats next year, they're going to differentiate between these two. Like I'm trying to give a very
but we're not going to be using sigma.
Which one do you write?
Standard deviation.
SX for standard deviation. These are both standard deviation, but they're for different groups.
So any answer that has like a lowercase sigma, you just cross out.
Okay. So do you see how I'm not putting it on your actual test. You see how I cross this out? I cross it out. I said I was changing the way this problem was written. Okay, question?
The way I thought, it's 4.35.
Yeah.
You round up when it's 5?
Yes, 5, you round up. So it's 4.4. I don't know. Okay. Scroll down. My min is 8. So I'm just getting it from my calculator. Min is 8. Q1 is 16. Median 16.5. Q3 is 18. And max is 26. Literally, that is the second question I'm asking you. So I'm telling you exactly how I'm asking it on the actual mini test. I'll give you a bunch of numbers, and I'm gonna give you blanks. I'm gonna literally say mean, blank, standard deviation, blank, for you to fill in. I write minimum, first quartile, because I'm trying to be tricky. Q1 is literally first quartile. Are we okay with that? I don't know. I gotta make it somewhat tricky. Here you go.
Will you word your question differently or no?
What did I delete? Describe the center and spread of data using the mean, standard deviation, and 5-number summary. So I changed it a little. Instead of saying either or, I say using all 3. Because I didn't teach you guys distributions, right? So I just wanted you guys to know the different types. So if you're a junior and you're taking stats next year, oh yeah, this is like a whole chapter that you learn about it. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Libby asks every 10th student walking out of the school what they think the new school mascot should be. So we got to identify the population. Is the population going to be every 10th student? No, what is that? That is our sample. It's our sample. Okay. Is the population the school mascot? No. Is it all the students in the school or all students in the district? School. Okay. Not too bad. I kept number 3 a multiple choice question. Number 4. Identify the unbiased survey question, meaning there should only be one that is not biased. So is A biased? How many hours do you sleep a night? It's biased? Yeah, it's unbiased, so this should be the answer, but let's go through and make sure the other ones are actually biased. Because how many hours do you sleep a night? It doesn't limit them, right? It's just asking a question. It's just asking them neutrally, how many hours? It's not saying, are you a lazy bum who sleeps 14 hours a night? Like, what? No, that's biased. Are you saying, are you I don't know, are you a night owl who only goes to bed at 2 a.m. and blah, 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 right? We're not like limiting them or leading them to a question. We're just having them answer. It's just very neutral. B, do you prefer comedies or dramas? No options, right?
But isn't that, we talked about this, because isn't that like, what if they're only giving them like,
So,
they say, like, between these two, do you prefer?
right. And if this was, so context is key, but I also told you about a million times, I'm going to make it super obvious. And we've already found the unbiased one. So do you prefer comedies or dramas? Maybe they prefer, trauma is not the right word. What am I looking for? Horror. Maybe they prefer horror, not comedy or drama. Yeah, scary. Okay, cool. So this limits their options. But granted, if you were like, if you were Michael making the next musical and you had to decide between comedies and dramas because those are the only two things, whatever, and then you ask, it'd be okay. But like, we don't really have context, so you have to assume you have no context for the question. You don't want to limit them at all. Yeah. Are you voting yes on issue 1? It's biased because we're leading. We're gonna say, oh, vote yes. We're planting the seed. Okay. Do you think your city needs more police and firemen? Yeah, this is a leading question because you're saying it's like, don't you agree we need more? Like you're leading them to answer like yes. Don't you think that we should limit blah blah blah? Like yeah, because if someone comes up to me and they lead the question that way, I'm like, I don't really have an option the way I answer. So the only unbiased is like, how many hours do you sleep a night? Okay, because that's it's a low stake. It doesn't matter my answer because if I sleep 0, I'm a vampire, whatever. If I sleep 12, okay, it's a very low stakes, right? No consequence question. All right, number 5. A school librarian wants to determine the reading interests of students. A survey of which group would produce a random sample. So now I'm asking you, which of these would be a random sample? Every third student leaving the library on a given day? Okay. It's mostly readers.
So it's different kids, like it's not like the whole school is like constantly going to the library every day. I think it should be seen.
All right, let's see. So we're trying to gauge the reading interests of students. Who is our population? Students who read. Students who read.
So it didn't say determine the reading interests of students. Like it just says students. So wouldn't it be a little bit more?
See, I would think it's C, but also like Miss Rotter in your book thinks it's A. And I'm going to go through each reason why. So, I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'll go through each reason why. So once again, I took this question from the book. On the actual test, I'm going to make sure it is clear, right? There will be no ambiguity. It's literally going to be like, nope, either you have it correct or it's going to be totally off, right? There's going to be like no room for fighting. That's my goal. Seniors planning to attend college? No. Like, really? That's all that people were asking? Okay, no, that's not a random sample. Every fifth person entering the school in the morning? Okay, right? This gives me a random sample. What if people are like, I don't read, I'm not interested in reading. So that's the reasoning why the book didn't select that one, because the sample is not from the population. This would be the sample of all the school, not people who use the library and read. Yeah, I know. This is a very
But that's as if you were to say
as I was gonna say just now, this is a very fightable.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna spend time fighting you today. So I'm explaining the rationale behind all of them. So see, the rationale is while this gives a random, it doesn't give a sample from the population. B, football team, this only looks at one single group, but A, every third student leaving the library, okay, every third student makes it random. Coming from the library means they actually read books. Because I'm pretty sure if I ask D. Toledo students as a whole, what do you read for fun? Most people will say Instagram. That's not a real thing. Or TikTok. Okay. That's not a real, the librarian is trying to see what book should she order. So the best people to ask, it's not just everybody. The best people to ask are the people who actually use the library, right? So that's why the book and Miss Rotter say A. Because our population are people who use the library. If you don't use the library, cool. I don't want your opinion because I'm trying to buy books for the library. So by having every third student makes it random, coming from the library means the population of people who use the library, that's where I'm drawing my sample from. Yeah, not the best question, because there's a lot of you could fight me, every fifth person, that's random. I want people who are using the library. Okay? All right, let's do the next one. We're going to use our calculators again. So let me show you how I changed the problem.
Is this the signs for variance and range again? Variance is S to the second.
Oh, so not.
S squared, but I'm only having you do range and standard deviation. Yeah. If you take stats next year, you will go deep into all three.
We're not worrying about it.
What's the sign for range again?
So you have to actually figure it out yourself because it's max minus min. So range is literally your maximum minus your min. And standard deviation, remember we're using SX for our standard deviation.
So we don't need to worry about the
and remember they both have a mean of 84,200. What's your question?
we don't need to worry about the
Variance? I cross it out.
Does that even show up on your calculator?
It does not. If you take your standard deviation and square it, that's variance. Once again, if you take stats, you'll go deeper into this, but I'm just trying to give you a general little overview of stats, a little taste for it. That's all my goal is, a little taste. I'm not trying to make you eat a whole cake. Ready? Here's a joke someone told me yesterday. Why did the math student eat their math test? Because the teacher said it was a piece of cake. That was my reaction when he told me that. I was like, what?
You know what a piece of cake? It was a piece of cake.
The math teacher said it was easy, but they said it was a piece of cake, so the student ate at the test. Yeah. Yeah, see, that was my reaction. I was like, what? Why are you telling me this? Okay. He was an old man. Guess how old I am? I don't know. Guess how old I am? Okay, 55. I'm 77. Okay. Cool. People are weird, let me tell you. Why do strangers talk to me? Do I have a face that looks like I'm welcoming and friendly?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Okay. I worked on having not having a RBF, but now it turns out it's like too nice because strangers always ask me for money, and they're like,
Like, where are you finding these people?
there's a homeless population in California. I'm sorry, I live in the. I guess I live in the gutter. Thank you. Okay.
No,
Wow.
I thought you meant, like random people, like if you're taking the bus or something, just like, hey, can I have some money? Like what?
Where were we? Montgomery. I was asked for money 5 different times.
Oh, me too.
Well, yeah, it's really bad.
But
there.
I did give someone $5. I felt bad.
When we were there, I like all the leftover pizza, like the administrators, they were just gonna like throw away because we had like a bunch. So it was just like, I told them to give it to like.
Yeah, they're supposed to do this.
No,
All right. So let's go on. Let's go on. Are you guys ready for this other part? And break. Okay. So now we're going to find the range and standard deviation. Let's go ahead and let's find the standard deviation for the first one. So I'm gonna put 85,000, 76,000, 92,000. Yep. Go back to spreadsheets.
Oh my god.
I'm entering everything in.
So like, what
88,000.
Is that like how much?
The average distance every data point is away from the mean. If you have a large standard deviation, that means your data is spread out. On average, they're a large distance away from the mean. If you have a small standard deviation, on average, most of the data points are closer together and there's a very small distance from the mean.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So
here, both of these, both Google and Apple, right, these salaries, let me just tell you, this is not real numbers. These are not real salaries. I took this from Ms. Rotter's practice quiz for her students, okay? I'll be honest with you. These are not real salaries. I'll definitely let you know which one's better to work with. These are also like definitely starting salaries for computer engineers because they normally make more.
like the range, that's like.
Yeah, definitely. Take computer science. Eli, what you doing? Next year, comp sci, let's do it.
Definitely.
Computer
You
science
should. You should.
So
Honestly.
coding?
Yeah, it's coding. It's awesome. Also, I'm going to be teaching a class next year in coding. Hey. You should take it. Poach. Swoop, swoop. Come with me.
What course is the year we're leaving?
What?
I feel like the school is offering so many.
Yo, falls. When I came here 4 years ago, I started the computer science program. There's computer science here, so. Yes.
I'm trying to get like a feel of what ranges, like how would I judge? I'm starting, so like a lower deviation is better because.
Lower deviation is better because it means all your data is grouped together.
Yeah, but then range.
A smaller range means your data is grouped together. A big range means it's spread out.
One person did the 411 thing.
Yes. 411. Enter. Enter. And it pops up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what's the range?
So notice that the mean is 84,200, like I said. Standard deviation. Okay. SX standard deviation. Oh no. What did I say it was? 6,340.
That's the range.
6340.3. 6340.3.
I got 0.4.
Oh, I wrote it up, but I got. I didn't get that right.
But it's 0.34.
Oh.
So it should be point.
.35?
SX.
Yeah, it's 0.35.
Did I enter something wrong? Maybe you entered something wrong.
I got 0.35.
No, because you got it in.
What? Okay, you ready? 85,000, 76,000, 92,000, 88,000, 8,000. Nope, mine's right. Yeah, I think you guys put in numbers wrong.
Oops, mine's there.
Mine's fine. Yeah, mine was fine.
I can come look
For you. Yeah, can I see?
I think the calculator just rounds it.
Perfect.
So
because it's 0.346. So it, yeah. I think it's so it's because the document settings. I think it's your float. Yeah.
Oh, you have to click on it. You have to click on it.
It's your rounding. You're rounding. See, now it's 0.34. Because you had a float 6, meaning it goes to 6 decimal moments.
Oh, you just have to
You
click.
said
So how do you-
it's just like there.
How did you switch it?
So you go document, settings, handhold, and then you just go up to where it says flow.
Do we need to do that?
Click on it.
I recommend. So I'll show you where you did it. Ready?
How do we do it again?
I'm gonna show you. Document, settings and status.
Oh, settings.
Document settings. Go to float. Right. So some people's are float 6.
Mine's full six.
Exactly. That's why it's showing 0.35. If you put float and then push enter, it will show you the 0.34 ...
Go to settings now. Where'd you go?
Document,
Documents,
settings, handhold setup.
Handhold setup.
Is it always gonna be
Still
on
rounds
float
up
six?
to three.
I don't know. I don't know what you do with your calculator.
Well, unless you're,
So we take points off if we're like, if
I don't
it's
have a
6,
float.
340.4.
What? So we got settings, document settings, so we got and then flow 6, we just remove from the top, so we can go back to flow.
I wanna work at Apple.
Okay, we ready to keep going? Yep. So, we need the range. So I have to go down to my max and my min. How do you find range? Max minus min. 92,000 minus 76,000 is going to be 16,000?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay. So I said 92,000 minus 76,000 is 16,000. Okay, well, range isn't as useful. It's good to, that's a big range. Okay, now guess what we're gonna do? We're going to, we're gonna do all the ones for Apple. So I'm just gonna go to we'll go to column D, whatever, doesn't matter. You can open up a new,
How do you open up the new ones?
if you push document, you can say file, new document, and then it's like, do you want to save?
I
No.
just go home and then.
List in spreadsheet. Yeah. So 75,000, 85,000. There was a bunch of people I knew when we graduated from college. They initially made well over 6 figures because bonuses and stock options and salary. Right. So a lot of my friends from college make twice as much as I do, and it's frustrating because they get to go to Egypt and Japan and fly over the world all the time.
Is it like,
What do they do?
Chemical engineers, computer scientists, electrical engineers.
Yeah, what?
Because,
Why do you-
sorry, I love you guys, and I want to help you be better with life. Okay, bye.
Figures is a lot.
Yeah, you
It is a lot.
double the money.
It would be nice to make more money.
the people who work like
But unfortunately,
stores make that much
in Apple stores, no. As engineers for Apple, yes.
for corporate.
Like the people that are.
The people that make the code, the people that make the watch and the stuff inside. One of my friends is really big in the wearables technology. So the Apple watches, he makes some of the firmware, like the hardware sensors, designing those and things.
That's big.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, because I originally was going to do grad school after 3 years. That was my original plan. That's why I'm still here. I was going to do grad school after 3 years. So 3 years of building a portfolio. That way I can have a full ride in grad school. Because as a TA, they want you to have teaching and communication experience. That way I can get a fellowship and don't have student loans for my grad degree. That was the plan. Yep. But student loans suck, so they take a long time, and LA is super expensive, so oh yeah. Okay, so once again our mean still 84,200. This time our standard deviation is Woo, 12,794.5. 12,794.5. So this is our standard deviation, and our range, what is our range going to be? 98,000 minus what?
68,000.
68,000. Ooh, 30,000. Yikes. Okay, so based on this information, what company would you want to work for and why?
Google, because it has a lower range.
Google, because standard deviation is less.
Oh, you want to, oops.
Wait, we want standard deviation? Yeah, because like, okay, say we work for a company that's like, their salaries are all over the place, everyone's getting paid something different versus working for a company where it's like more consistent and everyone's getting
Right.
the same.
Because while the mean is 84,200, that doesn't mean you have a better shot at hitting the mean if you work for Google, because there's less variation. There's less variation. More people are closer to that 84,000. Because you may look out and be that 98,000 for Apple, but you also could be 68 screwed over. Yeah. Okay. 7, 6, 7, and 8. All I do is change the numbers and the situation.
What does number 8 say? Google, because
Google, because standard deviation is less and range is less, more likely to hit the mean. You know how I know it's D period? Just close my eyes and I hear it. 9th grade. Pen lunch. Nope, he's here. Is it bothering you guys? I put that in my friend's phone. I changed their Apple ID to Turd Ferguson. Took them a month to find out, and the only reason they found out is because I got impatient. I was like, oh, you should ask your phone a question. And they're like, what? So I took their phone. I was like, Siri, who am I? You're asking me, turd? And they're like, what? I think that's the happiest I've been in 2020. It was great. Yeah. Oh. What a day. What a day. This is okay, let's keep going. Okay. Determine whether the survey sample is biased or unbiased. Explain your answers. What is your favorite sport? Samples chosen from people attending a soccer game.
There's a good chance that they like
samples
soccer.
aren't taken from a random audience.
They like soccer.
Biased.
How do you know that?
They like soccer. They're at a soccer game.
You would expect the most popular sport to be soccer. Because these people were attending a soccer game.
Just say that the people weren't taken by random.
Yeah, if they're at a soccer game, they're not gonna be like my favorite sport.
Well, so we're explaining our answers, right?
I don't agree.
So it's not telling us how we selected. Maybe we selected every 10th person walking by us. That's random. But the fact that we're at a soccer game, asking the favorite sport, that's not a good sample because everyone's going to probably be like, yeah, soccer, woo, right? We're at a soccer game. Okay.
Do we have to explain it that well?
Yes, I want you to explain. Biased, because they're a soccer. Okay, because they're a soccer game, that's fair. Because you're telling, because I can read between the lines so much.
Obviously, they're at a soccer game, so obviously they're gonna say soccer.
That's perfect. That is perfect. Perfect. Love it. Let's keep going. There's going to be 2 questions just like this. Literally, the bold direction, same. I just, write it. Yeah.
Is this online?
Yes. This PDF is online, and then I'm going to upload these answers after class. Okay, number 10. What is your favorite soft drink? Samples chosen by picking names out of a telephone book. Biased or unbiased?
Unbiased.
Unbiased. Look how easy that was. Boom, done. Awesome. Okay.
You don't have to explain.
Because it's not biased.
Biased.
Right. Only if it's biased you have to explain. Cool. All right. Number 11. All right. Tell whether the question is potentially biased. Explain your answer. If the question is biased, rewrite it so it's not. So,
Do we have to explain? God.
don't you agree the voting age should be lowered to 16 because many 16-year-olds are responsible and informed?
Bias.
Okay.
That's very true.
This is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Shh. Okay, Isabella's gonna tell us why, but also, do you see how like blatantly it's biased? This is the level I aspire to be. I want to be as basic as possible. Right. I want to make it super clear it's biased. So it is biased. Okay, you're gonna say?
You have to like propose and influencing.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to say like you do like that person like saying that believes that
So what should it be? Do you think the voting age should be lower than 16?
okay, my handwriting's horrible, so I'm gonna start typing. Don't mind me. Okay. So something like the question states 16-year-olds are responsible and informed. So this is like what responsible and informed. So this is like what I think Isabella was talking about. It's literally giving out an opinion. I'm not gonna argue that you're not responsible and informed. It's stating that as a fact. Where this is more of like an opinion type thing. So results will most likely be in favor of lowering. Can't type. This is embarrassing. Lowering the voting age. Okay. So since it's biased, we should have a question. So instead of saying, don't you agree? You could just say, do you believe the voting age should be lowered to 16? Because that's very like neutral, low stakes. You can say no, I don't believe that, or yes, but it's not assuming like, don't you agree? It's not forcing you into an answer. It's not limiting you. So that's my example. So you will have to like give me an example of an unbiased and biased question. And notice that like we spent 3 days on the first section, so that's why it's a little more of the mini test than the other. Okay, cool, we're good. Okay, that's fine. It's just easier to read the writing when it's not me handwriting it. I'm sorry. Do you think the city should risk an increase in pollution by allowing expansion of the Northern Industrial Park?
It's unbiased because I think that it's unbiased. I know that you're gonna say it's biased, but I think that it's unbiased because, like, if it's fact that it will, like, the city, if they're, bless you, if it's like, what's it called? Like, the objective of the question is to ask how they feel about the risk of an increase in pollution by allowing this. Instead of saying like if it's
well, because
fact and not
risk and
opinion.
like it's kind of wanting a big response,
But if that's like the question, like
If
that's like why they
the way they word it though, you could say, do you think the city should allow expansion if it would cause an increase, even if it would cause an increase? Versus here, it's like risk an increase in pollution. Like it's a little more like fighty words.
So how do you explain why it's biased?
It's because the statement about the increase in pollution. So a way. Yeah, it's biased because the statement about the increase of pollution. So hold on. Increase in pollution. Oh my god. So you could instead say, do you think the city should allow expansion of the Northern Industrial Park? And then after they answer, you could have a follow-up question and say, if this would increase, studies say the expansion. You could word it this way if you want to increase it, if you want to keep it. The study, Smith, Weston, Smith, Bob did in 2019, blah, 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 funded by the EPA, said that building it would cause an increase in pollution. Knowing this fact, do you think the city should allow the expansion? So if you make it very factual with references, it would be better. So what was I going to say?
Can we say like should, or is that like if you want to like rewrite it unbiased, would should be like an okay word, or would that
Should, you could leave should. Do you think the city should allow the expansion? Yeah.
Even if it has potential risks of an increase in pollution, or is even if it may cause.
So because you having the word if makes it less of a gut punch and makes it like more nice. Like, even if, like, what would your opinion be? Not like, do you want to risk the pollution? Like, I don't know. See, it's very easy to read into these sometimes. So if you said like, building the expansion would cause an increase in pollution, do you think the city should allow the expansion? That would be fine, because you told them the fact, and then you asked them a very unbiased question. Do you think they should allow the expansion?
Should the city allow expansion of the northern industrial park if there is a potential risk of increased pollution?
Wait, what'd you say?
Should the city allow expansion of the northern industrial park if there is a potential risk of increased pollution?
If there's a potential risk. Even if there's a potential risk, yeah. That'd be fine. So I'm going to show you another way to write it. Ooh, I forgot my question mark. The expansion of the northern industrial park will cause an increase in pollution.
So we don't really have to like
Do you I'm gonna say do you think the city should allow the expansion? So this is fine, and the reason is because the word like risk an increase, the way it's worded makes it biased. The fact that I'm not arguing that it's going to cause an increase in pollution, but the way we're asking it is going to be, yeah. So if you word it this way, like, okay, the expansion will cause an increase in pollution. Do you think we should allow the expansion? I think that's fine. So I'm not changing the science, the facts of it, just wording it in such a way that like we don't want to cause a strong reaction.
when you say like the explanation of the answer, and you said like because of the statement about the increase of pollution, you don't have to like expand on that like how we did on 11, like how because it like proposes an opinion influencing.
You could say, risk an increase causes a emotional reaction, right? It's literally the statement is what causes it. Okay, 13. Don't you agree the school needs a new baseball field more than a science lab?
Bias, don't you agree?
Yeah, so hopefully you're saying
There's two options.
biased.
Because the person that's preparing that. Because it's a leading question.
Don't you agree? Is a leading question. What were you saying? You're saying they're like causing you, Talia, you're saying they're like forcing an opinion?
Like influencing. Yeah.
Which
It's like that person really wants it.
the question forces an opinion. An opinion of yes. Let's see. Okay, so a better question would be something like, do you feel that the school needs a new baseball field or a new science lab? Not the best, because of course this is limiting, right? Because we're only given the two options. But if the school's deciding between the two, then it's okay. More or less here, what I'm looking for your answers are just improve the question. Make it less biased. What? What's wrong?
Do you feel that
Ignore that. Do you feel okay? Thank you. Do you feel that the school, what did I write? Needs a new baseball field or a new science lab? Yeah. Do you feel that the school needs a baseball field or a new science lab? And to be fair, half the people asked. To be fair, half the people asked should have science lab in the first half. Yeah. Should have the science lab mentioned first. No. But I'm being a little extra. Ready? Here's the baseline that you could write for this one. Biased. Leading question. Forces opinion. Do you feel the school needs a new baseball field or science lab? Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah. All right. 13.
For this one, what does it mean when they say, like, would likely produce biased results? Does that mean your survey question has to be biased?
Okay, write a survey question that would produce biased results, write a survey that would produce unbiased. So you're literally you are making it a biased question and an unbiased question. So you just have to distinguish between the two. So I'll give you a chance to make one up. Yeah, we spent a whole day on biased versus unbiased. And this is it's a big takeaway I wanted you to come out with, is the way people ask questions sometimes are leading you to certain answers. And if you listen to the news, or, go on Facebook sometimes, the way these people write these articles, it's causing you to, forces your opinion one way. Okay. So here, let's see. Unbiased. Here's my biased. So you can go ahead, try to make up a question, and then we can share a couple. Okay, what'd you guys come up with? Let's have 2 people share out their biased questions, and then 2 people do unbiased. So 2 biased, Talia.
I'm unbiased.
Okay, let's do 2 biased. 2 biased first. Lauren?
February.
Biased, 1 biased.
Would you rather have yummy hamburgers or gross crazy pizza?
Solid, okay. Another biased question? Yep. Yeah, sorry, yes.
Mine is similar to hers, but I'll make it more. The other teams are getting pizza.
Okay, so you're trying to be well, the other teams are doing this, why don't you as well? Peer pressure. Okay, I could see that one. Unbiased? Let's see, let's have Talia unbiased.
Between the two, would you rather have hamburgers or pizza?
I like how you prefaced it, between the two, because, all right, these are the only 2 options, so unfortunately you only can choose one, right? It's not allowing them to say, I want sushi. No, you little child. No, you have 2 options, that's it. Can't pick sushi. Huh? I don't know. You tell me. I grew up with children like that. Okay. My unbiased, would you prefer hamburgers or pizza at the party? Yeah. So, cool. My bias was, since pizza is a cheaper option, wouldn't you rather have pizza than hamburgers? Oh my gosh, because, we're splitting it all. But clearly, money doesn't matter because, man, Postmates out of control. All right, let's continue. Why is that what?
Do we have to do? Oh, do we have to do one unbiased and one biased?
1 biased question, 1 unbiased.
I was going for biased question again. I was like, it's the same thing.
Is that literally just the same thing from 14?
You want a student's opinion on the current attendance policy. Give 2 ways your sample for the survey might be selected. The first way you select your sample will be biased. The second way is a way you can select an unbiased sample. So, So, for instance, if you want an unbiased sample, you could like ask every 10th student walking into school, unbiased. If you want a biased sample, ask D period of intermediate algebra. There you go. That's easy. We can do another. Oh, you ready? Here's a better one. Ready? A biased sample. Ask all the people who have missed more than 10 days of school. That'll give you a nice biased sample.
Wait, how do you explain these though?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. I will write out.
Wait, so ask all kids.
So unbiased, use a random sampling of students. Like every 10th student walking into school. Yeah, that's chill. Biased, you could literally ask D period, you know? Because, well, that would be pretty biased. Because while you guys are, you know, good for the most part of being here, you do miss a lot of school, you know, so it's kind of biased. It is, right? Juniors are gone, the sophomores are gone, you know, the seniors are college trip, and then people are sick, and yeah, it's crazy. So a better biased is ask a random sample of students who've missed, you know, who have been tardy more than 6 times or absent more than 5 times.
Could you put every like third kid they can send to the office for you?
That would give me a random sampling, but it would also be a biased sample. That's perfect. Yeah. Cool. So ask a random sample of students. Sorry, did you raise your hand? I'm sorry, what did you say?
What if you ask the first 10 kids to get to school?
That would also be biased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like also, if they're getting to school early, does that mean they've always gone to school early, or they're getting to school only?
So what you're talking about is clustering. So if you take stats next year, it like talks about all the different types of like biases and stuff. Yeah. If you just like if you're the manufacturer, right, you're an inspector, you don't stay late at work, so you just test the first 100 shirts that come through. It's weird. It's a cluster. All right, ask a random sample of students who have missed, who have been tardy more than 6 times, or absent. What is it? 5 absent more than 5 times unapproved. Because college visits are approved absences, they don't count towards the total, right? For people who missed a whole week because they had the flu, just knocks them out. That's not fair. The fact that they missed 4 of my classes, like, oops, a 5th, there you go, minus 5%. So there's certain things, APAC, soccer, basketball, right? All these like school things, they're approved and don't count towards the absence policy. So if we ask these people who are getting docked, they will definitely give us a biased example because they're going to have, they will not be in favor of any attendance policy. Yeah.
Is that the explanation? That they will not be in favor?
Of any attendance policy, yeah. So it's the explanation of like, why?
Because they'll have like a stronger.
Oh, they'll have a very strong opinion about our attendance policy. The people who are like, it doesn't affect, they're like, okay, I don't like it, blah, 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 but like, also it doesn't really affect them, so they're like, yeah, whatever, after a while, you know? Yes? Bathroom? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we have another 7 minutes. How do we feel? Any questions? Questions over these? So it's roughly, it's going to be very similar to this. So there's 2 questions where it's calculator. There's a couple multiple choice that shouldn't take too long.
Are they less than, or are they like every less questions?
It's exactly 15 questions. It's pretty much a 1-to-1. All I'm doing is I change the numbers for this problem. I change numbers. Go down here. It's the same directions, just change the question. Yeah. Cool.